I'm Igor and this is The List Building Lifestyle, a podcast for anyone who wants to build a wildly profitable email list working from home. If you'd like to make six figures, travel the world, and help people improve their lives in the process, then this podcast is for you. I also invite you to attend a free workshop at igor.ac where I'm teaching how I made $21,779.45 in affiliate commissions by sending just 481 clicks to my affiliate link in one day. I'm also explaining why I walked away from ClickBank and I don't promote ClickBank offers anymore, as well as the 5 things I look for in a perfect affiliate offer. I'm even going to show you the one-page website that I used to make over $500,000 in affiliate commissions this year, and I'll even bribe you to attend this workshop by giving you a $497 value course that shows you how to cherry-pick high-converting affiliate offers for your next affiliate promotion. In addition, I'll even give you the 3 offers I'm promoting right now that are making me money as we speak. All that and more at igor.ac. And now it's time to claim your list building lifestyle. Welcome back to another edition of the List Building Lifestyle with your host, Igor Kayfetz. One of the most important things you can do for your business is to learn how to make sexy propositions. And what this means is it really can be summed up in one sentence, and that is a sexy offer or a sexy proposition is 1,000 times more convincing than a sound argument. Think about it for a second. You can be trying and convincing people of things, and usually what happens is you get met with resistance. But when you make them an incredibly powerful, a risk-free, sexy offer that makes them go, wow, I'd be stupid not to take it, the whole argument thing goes out the window. And even if they don't agree with you fully, and even if you didn't make any sound sales arguments, just the offer itself will often drive that sale. And for that reason, one of the most important things you can do for your business is to study copywriting pieces from years past. For example, if you're an information marketer, then obviously going back in your swipe file time machine, you have to go and you have to study the greats, the Halberts, the Bencivenga, the Kennedy, Eugene Schwartz, and the list goes on and on and on. And one of the first few things you'll notice that the offers that stand the test of time, and usually you'll be able to, they'll tell you which ones became controls. Control being a sales piece that's been running for years and years and years because it's been generating the highest response out of all the pieces that they've tried. So one of the things that will stand out for you is you'll notice that the controls always have a cool name. Or at the very least, they're being positioned in a very interesting fashion, in a way that the prospect can actually understand. And, just by doing so, you're overcoming sales defenses right there. A great example to this is Gary Halbert's sales letter for a cream, right, for just a face cream. It was some kind of a beauty product that just glop, basically. I mean, just like anything else. But the way he sold it was brilliant because he called it a facelift in a jar. Now, think about it for a second. This is just 4 words. Facelift in a jar. But I think that phrase alone drove most of the sales of that piece. For the simple fact that it's very visual. You can imagine a facelift and then you kind of put it in a jar, making it very, very, very appealing, right? Just something you can comprehend and understand really, really quickly. Even at the time when this piece ran, which I think was back in the 90s or at the end of the 80s. I don't actually remember, but you can probably look it up by Googling it. The second thing, what it does, it implies, without actually making the claim, right? It implies that you'll get fast results. Meaning facelift is probably a procedure that most people are afraid of. They know it's expensive. They know it takes time. It's going to be painful. They have to, allow some other guy wearing a white robe to cut their face and, kind of stretch their skin and stuff, or kind of plant a piece of skin from a different portion of their body. In this case, he kind of overcomes a lot of these objections, and he says it's a facelift in a jar, so you don't have to, go and do surgery. That's awesome, as well as it being really fast, because when you think about it, you just take it out of a jar, smear it on your face. That's it. So again, one phrase revolutionizes the positioning of the product, and that's like just a really, really powerful reframe. And you can never you should never underestimate the power of a great reframe. This is not only true about marketing, by the way, it's also true about your personal life, because many of the issues you're facing in your personal life, or many of the challenges you've been dealing with, could be solved with the correct reframe, which is why neurolinguistic programming is so powerful. I was just actually at a seminar about a month ago, where in attendance there were some really interesting people, including one NLP guy. And so I told him that I've got this fear of flying. And he says, well, you know what? Let me work with you for 10 minutes. I'll do a 10-minute exercise with you, and you'll see that we can take this fear of flying and we can minimize it by about 50%, right? So I was like, you know what? I'll do anything to do that, because, flying is stressful and I'm willing to get rid of that stress. And so he started walking me through it, started asking me questions. And after asking me a few questions, it becomes obvious that it's not really fear of flying. It's more like a fear of not seeing my family, because when he asked me to walk him through the imagery or the movie that I see in my head about what exactly am I afraid of, then I told him that the movie that I'm playing in my head is actually a movie out of a scene that it's actually a scene out of a movie that I've seen about the 9/11 plane that crashed in somewhere like in America where the terrorists tried to hijack it, but the people on the plane were able to interfere, but they all ended up dying. So in that movie, what happened was the terrorists made a mistake, and all of a sudden people started rushing into the cockpit like ants. And so when that happened, of course, they pressed on the guy who was behind the wheel, and he kind of pointed the plane downwards, and they all basically crashed. And the last scene in the movie it's shown from the cockpit as the plane is getting closer and closer and closer and closer to the ground, until it just bam goes blank, basically goes black. The screen goes black and the movie ends, and they start showing all kinds of different quotes and facts about the people who died, show their names. So it's a very good, it's just an amazing movie. I hope if it even resembles a little bit what happened there for real, all these people deserve a medal. And it's a shame that so many people have died because of it. Yo, it's Igor. If you're loving the content, hop on over to listbuildinglifestyleshow.com for more free training and a free transcript of this episode. Oh, and I'd really appreciate if you logged into iTunes and rated the show. It really helps. Thanks. But that scene really represented how I felt about the whole flying situation. And I shared that that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the cockpit and how I'm going down, and I'm getting closer and closer to the ground until it goes black. And he says, okay, first off, you realize it's unreasonable for you to think that, because you'll never make it to the cockpit. You're not flying in the cockpit. You'll have to be the pilot to be in the cockpit. But also, why is that scary to you? And the first thing that came to my mind was because I'm not going to see my family anymore. And that's when the penny dropped, and that's when the reframe for me happened, because it was not really about the fear of flying. There's nothing rational about the fear of flying, because if you look at the statistics, the fear flying is safer than driving a car. But I never, ever have fear of driving a car, and I don't feel unsafe driving a car, although my wife does, right? So my wife, for example, won't drive downtown because she hates dense traffic. So it's a different thing, right? She needs a reframe there. But for me, it's all about this fear of flying, which I thought, right, for the longest time in my life, that was the frame with which I would perceive it. Oh, it's the fear of flying. It's the fear of crashing. But it wasn't. It was the fear of leaving my family and not getting back to my family anymore, and basically abandoning my wife and my kids and being a bad father. So again, that's how you go from reframing fear of flying to just the fear of not being a good enough husband or a parent, which is a proper fear that I have. I always want to live up to the expectations that my family has of me, and of course I set that bar really high. So it's basically my own expectations of how I'm supposed to appear as a father and as a husband. So with that aside for a second, the point being is that most issues in your life and most sales issues that you're experiencing right now, most marketing issues that you're having in your business right now, can be fixed with the right reframe, both for yourself and for your customer. For example, A lot of times I see people have issues with money, right? So they could be making more, they could be closing sales, they could be producing way better marketing material, and they could be doing a much better job, but they don't. And oftentimes the reason is some sort of glitch in their mind that they need reframed, but they're not willing to do that, or they don't see how to do that. To the same extent, any issue on the personal level could be a reframe. So whatever the challenge you're experiencing right now, I want you to really sit down after you finish this episode and if you're done driving, and I want you to really bring up that issue to the surface, whatever that is. It's not making enough sales. It's being afraid to close deals. It's not being able to produce content. It's refusing to sell a product. Whatever that is, right? Whatever that is, sit down, write it down, and then ask yourself, what is the frame? What is that frame with which you look at the issue? And then just play with the idea. Don't commit to anything, but just play with the idea of putting on different frames on that issue. So imagine that frames are coats and the issue is a person, right? And so you put on a different coat and see what sticks. And so that will be extremely powerful, because the moment you can reframe that problem into, first off, something that what it really is, because oftentimes the frame you carry with it initially is not the frame that's truly occurring. Just like I gave you the example with the fear of flying, which I've had for years. And now I'm coming to realize that it's not really fear of flying at all. And also, once you've identified what's the incorrect way of looking at it, you can then reframe it, and you can take on or embrace a new frame that's going to make it a whole lot easier. That's going to make it a whole lot simpler and not so heavy on your mind. Because if we really consider productivity for a second, if you really just start paying attention to your productivity, you'll see that the biggest thief of productivity is nothing physical, but rather emotional baggage. Emotional baggage that's usually something we carry with us about problems, about different things that happen in our life and in our business, within our personal relationships, in our professional relationships, within, maybe even in our inner world. Whatever that is, there's probably an issue that's right now that's heavy on your mind. And if so, reframing that issue makes it it doesn't really make it go away, but it makes it so much easier to deal with. And it makes the weight of that issue on your mind go from 100% to about 40%, maybe 30%. So all of a sudden, it's so much easier to carry this stuff with you and eventually let go of it. Now, this is even more important for you if the issues you're carrying are not few but many. Think about it. You could be carrying a decent dozen of these really heavy problems on your mind right now, depending on how old you are, because the older we get, the more we accumulate these and the less we want to address them. So think about it. If you have, say, even half a dozen of these issues, what if you could make 3 of these issues not be as heavy on your mind? Would you be more productive? Would you be happier, a little bit happier? Would you be able to maybe focus on your business for at least a while? Chances are that it's a yes to all 3 questions. And if right now you're being pulled back by all this emotional baggage, then maybe you owe it to yourself to sit down and do this exercise. Now, obviously, I can't make you. I wish I could. I wish I could just reach out through iTunes or Spotify, whatever you're listening right now, just grab you by the short collar and just, make you sit down and do this for like 20 minutes. But I can't. Only you can. But at least I can show you the door, right? So Bruce Lee used to say, you can't invite the wind, but you can open the window. So there you go. Window is open. It's up to you to decide whether you want to come in or not. Anyway, this concludes another episode of The List Building Lifestyle. I'm your host, Igor Kayfetz, and until next time we chat, have a good one. Thank you for listening to The List Building Lifestyle. Get access to previous episodes, the transcription of today's show, as well as other exclusive content at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com. Also, don't forget to claim your free seat at the workshop I'm hosting this week, where I showed the 2-step system that made me the top affiliate for people like Matt Basak, John Crestani, Richard Legg, Michael Cheney, and many, many others. In fact, on this workshop, I'm going to show you the exact approach I take whenever I promote an affiliate offer, the exact offers I promote, as well as how I was able to make over $500,000 in commissions using my small list of just 18,000 people promoting a weird type of product that almost no one else promotes. All that is yours at igor.ac. So go ahead, claim your seat right now, and I'll see you there.